Prior to personal training, I had the absolute pleasure of being a coach. It's actually where a lot of personal trainers get involved in this particular field. And I coached for 20 years in diving, track and field, but the vast majority of the coaching that I got to do was actually in gymnastics. Now, besides being a finesse sport, one thing that is synonymous with gymnastics happens to be, sadly, eating disorders and challenges as far as eating is concerned. And this also speaks to the difficulty we have in working with our kids and nutrition. We're talking about weight loss or weight control. Well, as we've talked about before, we've developed a pilot program that not only addresses that, but also addresses self-esteem, optimism, and conquering fears. We have results from that pilot program today. I want to talk about it today on the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast.
Welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast
with Garrett Williamson.
Health, wellness, exercise, nutrition, and a whole lot more. Got questions? Call us and leave a message at 251-278-EDGE or message us at Personal Edge Fitness on Facebook and Instagram, at Team PE on Twitter, or personaledgefitness.com.
Good day and welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Garrett Williamson, president of Personal Edge Fitness, and I have with me today our Eastern Shore director, Joshua Gooch. Josh, glad to have you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We're really excited about talking about this subject today, about finishing our pilot program with our Teen Catalyst. And we're going to talk to Josh about how it went. But before I get to that, I always want to tell you how to get in touch with us if you have any questions about this program or any others, or any questions about dispelling the myths of health, fitness, and wellness. Now, I've also done some speaking engagements lately. If you have any questions about those topics, please contact me at area code 251-278-EDGE, E-D-G-E, and that's 251-278-3343. As always, and as I had two people at the speaking engagement yesterday reach out to me, you can contact me on my email address, which is Garrett, G-A-R-R-E-T-T, at personaledgefitness.com. That's also our website, personaledgefitness.com, and our Facebook page. You actually got in touch with Josh the same way. So we're talking today about, I think it's correct to say this is somewhat of a precarious subject. As I said in the intro, I've worked with kids for years and did have the absolute pleasure for 20 years to be a coach in diving. I coached gymnastics and I coached track and field. But the vast majority of it in 4 different states, I actually coached gymnastics. And I coached at the preschool level all the way to highly competitive level. I was actually at two former Olympians gymnastics facilities. One of them in Norman, Oklahoma, where I actually got to work as a tumbling instructor there and spotted some not only level 10 gymnasts, but pretty much up and down the scale. And because of that, sadly, gymnastics is associated with a lot of eating disorders. There's a reason I'm bringing this up. When it comes to working with kids, especially teenagers, and dealing with weight issues, overweight, underweight, maintaining weight, nutrition, it can be very, very precarious. I keep using that word. I won't say dangerous because it's something that definitely needs to be done, but you have to be extremely careful because you can send somebody down the wrong road. I've seen it happen way too many times. I've got some individuals very, 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 very close to me that have had challenges because of experiencing or going through negative influences as far as talking about nutrition and weight loss at an early age. That has always bugged me for a long time. And what I was really happy about is that, several years into my career, now at 53 years old, I've got somebody else that it really bugs them too. So I'm glad to have somebody that cares a lot about it, and that's Joshua Gooch. We developed the Catalyst program about 4 or 5 years ago. It's been highly successful. And I had a lot of parents reach out to me about having their kids involved in the Catalyst program, which we wanted to do. But in order to do this successfully, we have to not only attack the weight issues and the nutrition issues, but more importantly, what's going on here. And we actually launched a pilot program. Josh ran it. Josh, tell me about what went on, buddy.
Well, again, I like what you said with the mindset. And again, that was before even thinking about this, going into it. My first thought is I want to attack that mindset, because when we look at, I know you had Dr. Jonathan Holmes, pediatrician, on a couple of podcasts ago.
Center.
Absolutely. Go give that a listen if you haven't already. He talked about his 5 pillars for a healthy child. Okay?
Exactly.
Healthy individual, I would even say, after listening to it. Those being activity, nutrition, sleep, hydration, which we'll just pause right here and get a sip of water here, and social life, which was kind of neat. You think about it, you're like, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, absolutely, duh. All those can be wrapped up, and after listening to those, I was like, mindset. The individual, the child, taking, again, accountability for each one of those, because they're all things that they can control. And how do we take that and direct their mindset toward a more positive outlook, a more confident kid.
And David, if you don't mind repeating those, and the reason I say that is that when Dr. Holmes was on with us, he actually introduced that entire concept to me, which I thought was tremendous, because it's like what we talk about. Well, it's like what I talk about with the lie of age. If you've listened to that podcast, I talk about the 4 things that dictate age or dictate deterioration. Not one of them is time. And it doesn't have to be genetics. No. It happens to be fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, and mindset. Now, Dr. Holmes comes in and introduces the 5 pillars, which again are
activity, nutrition, hydration, sleep, social life.
If you think about those, you're really almost in line with what we were talking about in the lie of age. But when he said that, I mean, it was a blockbuster for me, because to me, it gave us the foundation for a description of the foundation of what we've done with this particular program.
Yes.
Tell me how you went about this. And how
if we're looking at, kind of how I went about it, of course, like I talked about when I was on the previous podcast when we were talking about how it was going. We had these wonderful, wonderful books I'm looking for, doing a lot of reading. How can I, address this mindset, this healthier self-image? And we ended up using Sports for the Soul, Darren Donnelly. We ended up using those, combining with the lessons of Catalyst that we already had, kind of merging that into, how can I approach this for kind of a youth program, a youth Catalyst pilot program. Yeah. So again, what we ended up doing, if we want to look at the results, we ended up kind of towards the end of it, average weight loss, 15.6 pounds. More importantly to me, though, is...
Hang on a second. I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you there. Yeah. Because I know what you're doing. Yeah. I do it myself. And what you're doing is going, look, here's the weight loss, fine. But this is what's important to me. And it's actually what's important to everybody. I agree. But let's stop a second, because it is a nutrition program. It is a weight control program and a weight loss program for those that may be interested in that. This is interesting. I'm going to give you 2 parts of this. What was your average weight loss?
15.6 pounds.
15.6 pounds. Okay. 15.6 pounds. And how much time?
We're on day 47, 48.
So in 48 days, we're looking at a 15-pound weight loss. Now, look, honestly, because we have people that get into the Catalyst program, just like they're interested in getting this in this program, that weight loss is not what we're interested in. No. We're interested in a healthy relationship with food. We're interested in feeling better about ourselves and understanding it all. That may not be the goal, and that's perfectly fine. We have people that get in the program for it. But if you are 15.8 pounds in 40-plus days, not bad. But go ahead to the important part. And it is. And I'm not joking. You know that. You know how I feel about this. Yeah. Same way. Move on to what I interrupted you about.
Getting back to that accountability with their water intake, which each one of these guys, 200, 210 ounces of water, 120 ounces for 2 of them, 140 ounces. But going past that to the mindset, when I have, reaching out to the parents and I ask the parents, tell me about, how your kid's doing outside of when they're seeing me, and of course, texting back and forth with me every day, part of this group. And they're telling me that, my kid, he lost weight, he feels great, but he looks good and he feels good about himself and he's motivated. I'm like, that's it. End of the day, I'm happy. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's write this one home.
He actually told me, in the personal edge lingo, that would be drop the water bottle. That's it. That's what we're looking for. That is the most important part. And I know I'm interrupting. You've got some other things to share with us, but as you're bringing that up and the fact that we talk about mindset and we talk about feeling better about themselves, let me show you how that equates in case you're interested. As the author of the Catalyst program, there's only one reason why we overeat, period. I give you a hint. Kind of goes in line with why people would overdrink or they would overtake drugs or what have you. And that deals with cravings. Well, that doesn't sound right. Cravings. Well, actually, you taking enough alcohol and whatever, you'll end up craving alcohol. But why do we crave? Again, it's the same parallel here. But when it comes to food, there's only 2 reasons why we crave, period. Don't fool yourself. There's only 2 reasons why we crave. 40% of the reason why we crave is lack of water. That's why you hear us talking so much about hydration, drinking water. That's the reason it's part of our Catalyst program. It's 100 ounces a day, every single day of the week, every single day of the year, 365 days a year. National Don't Drink Water Day, that day too. It's recommended by the American Heart Association, the American Medical Association, American Dietary Association, Harvard Medical, Stanford Medical, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, Pritikin, Cooper. You've seen me do it before. I can do it for hours. All of them recommend over 100 ounces a day. That's why it's such a big part of our program. It helps every single one of your functions. And I've had people ask me, why can I talk so quick? I actually slow it down for the podcast. And that's because I'm hydrated. When I'm hydrated, my brain works better. So does yours. 30% of your water that you drink is used by your brain. Make sure you stay hydrated. That's a large part of this program. But that's only 40% of the reason why we crave. The other 60% of the reason that you crave, therefore, 60% of the reason why you overeat, period, don't fool yourself, happens to be stress. And bottom line of stress is how you feel about yourself. That is why Josh is pushing this, because you're getting a response from the parents saying what about their children?
That they're happier, that they're feeling better about being themselves.
Period. That's why we sit here and say, 15.8 pound weight loss. Wow, that sounds great. I want to get involved. Okay, fantastic. I understand that. That's what's really important.
Yeah.
Because if we can do that, we can do that with anybody, for adults and what have you. That's all. What's our mission statement?
Make people feel better about being themselves.
Period. We seek to make people feel better about being themselves. That's why it's so important. That's why it is our mission statement. It's not just, gosh, that really sounds really neat. That's why y'all should. That is what we do. Nobody's fixated on a number. Nobody feels better about a number or whatever. You feel better about being yourself. And that's what we're doing with this Catalyst program with the teenagers. So as far as the Catalyst program is concerned, I can talk about the XYZs of nutrition. We're talking about developing a healthy relationship with food. We're going over cravings. We're going over different aspects of that. You're actually, tell them about the text thread. Tell them what we're reporting in. I want to get to what's really important, but the nuts and bolts of it, tell them what we're doing.
Well, with the text thread, I've got them checking in with me every day. So it goes back to, again, getting back to what we said at the very beginning with the 5 pillars, that social life, and something that I've tried to really instill, especially now, some of these lessons towards the end, is who do you choose to surround yourself with? These positive influences,
right?
Your friends, you can pick those.
This is done in a group setting.
Yeah.
And we don't do it individually. It doesn't work individually. It works in a group setting. And a large part of it is the 5th pillar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's social life.
That social life. Surrounding yourselves by good people and creating that healthy atmosphere around them. And in the program itself, we actually do that. Now, there's a daily text thread, and you're reporting in.
You're reporting in your numbers, kind of your daily loss, total loss, and your water intake, most importantly of all.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, and what ends up coming out of this is not just that text thread.
Not just that. You've got guys checking in with, oh, guys, have you tried taking these recipes? Have you tried doing this? Have you tried doing that? Well, guys, I'm feeling this way. I need some encouragement. And then the guys are jumping in and they're sending words of encouragement to one another.
These are 14 to 17-year-old people.
Yeah.
That are doing this. Yeah. These are teenagers that are doing this. So the text thread ends up becoming a major positive influence on top of being accountability.
Yeah. I jump in and, how are we doing, guys? And then they take it from there. They take the rest.
Right. They run with it.
They run with it. Exactly.
And what we see in these text threads, which I think is so amazing, I see it in the adults, and now we're seeing it in the teenagers. And it's amazing how somebody will throw out a question like, "Hi, I've got a challenge here about this recipe or about this food, or I'm feeling this way today." And as an instructor, immediately, okay, got to get in and fix that. And all of a sudden, one of their friends on the text thread tells them how to fix it.
Yeah.
Beats you to it. Turn it around, proud of themselves. Proud of themselves because they turn around and help their friend. Proud to be the first one. Others jumping in to add into it because they want to be a part of this helping or whatever. And as an instructor, you're sitting back going, wow, that's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the text thread. But then you've got conversations. You were talking about mindset. You were talking about how they start feeling better about themselves. But tell them, what are you doing as far as really working on that mindset?
With that mindset, taking them through kind of what in these books calls kind of that warrior mindset, how to become unstoppable, unbeatable.
Tell them what book sets you're talking about.
Sports for the Soul series. Darren Donnelly, again, those are the ones that we're taking these lessons from. And part of those lessons, one of them is, again, where's your focus at? Okay, that's one of the first things, and I kind of reiterate that for those that know me, I do, repeat myself a lot with that, but where's your focus at? And I teach these kids, your focus needs to be on your effort and your attitude. And that goes back to, again, these 5 pillars that we're talking about of a healthy kid. So we're doing that. We're talking about how to have an optimistic outlook on life. It's not just being happy-go-lucky all the time, but how to actually have that, okay? How to set your dreams, set big goals,
right?
Okay, and achieving those dreams, never giving up on what you're doing. That's a big one because I know with this, it can be difficult at times, but guys, this is, like I said before, this is your program. Okay, you need to make it yours, and you don't need to quit on yourself and on this group.
Absolutely. And for parents that are concerned, we actually have your kids reading. That may shock some of you. Wait a second, this is a program supposed to be about eating and food and weight loss and whatever, and you got them reading? Really? Yeah, because at the bottom of this, the whole reason, back to what I was saying about cravings, the whole reason they're going to overeat, they're going to have challenges, they're going to have stress just like me and you. And they're going to medicate that stress. And if they're having challenges with food or a bad relationship with food or whatever, they're going to use food to medicate that stress. Yeah. Even if they don't have any kind of challenges with that, great, fantastic, that's wonderful, that's awesome. But as we all know, and many of us experience as a teenager, challenges about self-esteem, challenge about optimism, having fears.
Yes.
Challenge is about really, hey, just play your own game. Hey, do the best you can do, instead of comparing themselves to other people or being influenced in a negative way just because of some of the kids they may be around.
Yeah.
That's what this program is all about. That's the only reason we would ever offer something like this. And we didn't offer it for many years. I've been asked to. I wouldn't even address this until we had the right program, because we want to address the actual problem.
Yeah.
Which is
that mindset.
Period. Like Dr. Jonathan Holmes said, hitting those 5 pillars, and I thank him again for being on. He's going to be back on with us also, because that's the foundation. That's what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. Okay, the pilot program was incredibly successful. We've already had some parents asking us about this, and it sounds like a big concept. We understand that, but you got a parent that's interested. You wouldn't have a problem talking to them about it.
Oh, absolutely not. I would love to.
Even you and I were working on putting this together. Mm-hmm. It's a big concept. We had to put it together and make it work the right way. So it did go literally hand in hand.
Yeah.
And then before we even launched it, we kicked off a pilot program because we had some kids that were interested. Mm-hmm. And now we've got it. But it took us a while to understand exactly how this is going to flow, how it's going to work together. So if you have any questions about it, listen, we don't do high pressure sales. With all due respect, and to be putting it blatantly honestly, we're highly successful. We don't have to do high pressure sales. We don't want to do high pressure sales. We're not interested in that. If you want any information about it, we would love to share it with you. And so if you have any questions, please call us at area code 251-278-3343. You can reach out to me at Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com. You can contact Josh, who's actually the director of this program, and we'd be more than glad to speak to you about it at Josh at personaledgefitness.com. Reach out to us through the website, personaledgefitness.com. We don't have anything on there about the program yet. We will, but we've got some interest in it. We want to go ahead and get some kicked off, so forgive us for not having any information on the website about that right now. But you can contact us through the website at the info page. You can also contact us through Facebook at Personal Edge Fitness, of course, on Facebook. So anything else to add? I may have cut off some of the things you want to talk about.
No. That
well, you were bouncing
everything.
Off the walls when I came in here about how successful the program was.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't want to leave anything out.
No.
But we're incredibly excited about this, mainly because we can really make a difference. We were looking to get one kicked off sometime probably end of April, somewhere around there. Josh is running this, so he's going to be setting up the time schedule on this. I'd be more than glad to talk to you about it myself, but if you really want to dive headfirst into it, please do contact Josh.
Reach out to me.
Yeah, yes. Direct number here.
251-651-0927.
Yeah, leave a message if worst comes to worst. Be glad to get back in touch with you. So we're in this to make a difference. We're in this to make a positive difference with your kids. And keep in mind, this is information that we want them to have at a rather impressionable age. And the reason being is that maybe right now they're not going to address some of this. Maybe they're right now, like a lot of us, it never became really important until, in past our 20s. At that point in time, we reverted back to what we knew. Well, at that point in time, we want them to have the right information and want them really, more than anything, to feel better about being themselves.
Absolutely.
This has been the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, stay hydrated. Working with your kids is just one more way we help you live your level of wellness.
Thanks for listening to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast with Garrett Williamson. Subscribe now and be a part of the show by calling 251-278-EDGE or message us on Facebook and Instagram at Personal Edge Fitness or at Team PE on Twitter, and visit us at personaledgefitness.com.